Hi everyone, welcome back to the Revolution channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face of new Revolution products because there's been quite a few new releases recently and I thought I would talk you guys through them, show you how they work on my face and do a full face of new Revolution. So I hope you guys enjoy. So the first thing that I'm going to be putting on my skin are some of the new primers. So Revolution have just launched 4 new primers. We have the Pore Blur Primer, the Mattify Primer, the Hydrate Primer, and then the Color Correct Primer. So I'm just going to read you a little bit of information about these. So the Pore Blurring Primer is for enlarged pores, as the name suggests. This one has a silky gel formula. It blurs the appearance of pores and sets your makeup in place all day. It also apparently contains vitamin E. Then the Color Correcting Primer, as the name suggests, is for color correcting any redness. So the green actually counteracts the red because they're on the opposite sides of the color wheel. This one has got vitamin B3 in it, which is known apparently for its multitasking skin benefits, including reduction in wrinkles, uneven skin tone, acne, and hyperpigmentation. So the Hydrating Primer has got vitamin E and hyaluronate acid, which is just gonna help plump your skin, give it some moisture. And then the final primer is the mattifying one. This one has also got vitamin E and it's just gonna reduce shine if your face is particularly shiny. So my skin type is oily, but I actually like to go in with the Hydrate Primer first, just to give my skin a bit of moisture because I don't currently have anything on it, and I do actually find that this one still works really nicely for me. So I just put this all over. So now that I've done that, I then like to go in with the Pore Blur Primer. The difference between this one and the mattifying primer is this one I would say is just going to mattify your skin, whereas this one really kind of fills in large pores and smooths over those pores. So depending on, you know, you might have oily skin, but you might not have enlarged pores. So it just kind of depends what kind of thing you're going for. But my personal favorite is the Pore Blur Primer. And I'm just going to put this in the areas where I do have enlarged pores, which are kind of on these areas of my cheeks, my forehead and my chin. And then taking the Conceal Define foundation and concealer. I normally use the shade F2 in this foundation, but for some reason I just cannot find it anywhere, so I'm going to be mixing F1 and F3, and then for the Conceal and Define I'm using the shade C1. Actually, you know what? Maybe F3 is going to be alright for me. I actually think F3 is pretty much a perfect colour match. So next I'm actually going to use one of the baking powders to set my face and do a little bit of baking, which I don't normally do, but just for the purpose of this video and to show you guys how it works and everything, I'm going to bake my face. But they have so many new shades of this. So they have white, so if you really want a brightening effect under your eyes and you have really fair skin, then they literally have a white baking powder. The next one is translucent, which is probably the one that I'm going to use today, but another one I also really like using is the shade Lace. This one is the one that I usually use because this one has been around for longer, but the translucent one has just come out. They then have Banana Light. They have the regular original banana powder, which is so popular. Both of these would be a bit too dark on my skin tone, but if you have a more medium skin tone and you want to brighten up your under eyes, then the banana powders are really good for that as well. It just kind of depends on your skin tone. Obviously, if you have skin as fair as mine, then this banana powder is going to be too dark to brighten up your under eyes, but if you do have a more medium skin tone, then these two would be good for you. They then have Banana Deep, which is an even darker version of the banana powder. They have Beige. They have Peach, which again is even darker. And then the final two are Orange and Deep Dark. And I am going to use the translucent one. I'm also going to be using this with the baking brush, which has got a sponge on one side, which is what you can use to pack on the powder with, and then the other side to kind of brush it away. So I'm just tipping some of this into the lid, and then I'm just picking some up on the sponge, and then I'm just going to press that under my eyes. Then I'm just going to dust a bit of this powder over the rest of my face just because I do have oily skin. Then just while that is still baking under my eyes, I'm going to go in and do my contour and blush and highlight and everything and really give this powder some time to bake and brighten, and then obviously I will come back and sweep it off because you don't want to be walking around looking like this. So to contour and bronze my face, I'm using Imagination's palette, which is the Highlight to the Moon palette, and I'm going to use this to do my contour. And then another thing you can also do with the baking powder is just take some of this and use it to carve out your cheekbones. So I'm just doing a line underneath. And I know that not everyone is going to be a fan of this whole baking technique, and it's not something that most people would do on a daily basis, but I just thought I would show you for the purpose of this video just how you can use it to really get that sculpted look. Just while I leave that to bake on my face, I'm just going to quickly fill in my eyebrows, and I'm using this little brow kit which actually came in one of the Christmas gift sets. I'm then also just going to add a little bit of highlighter, again from Imogen's palette. So I'm then going back to this brush here, which is the double-sided brush with the sponge, and I'm just going to use this to wipe away that excess powder under my eyes and on my cheeks. So as you can see, that's just left a really nicely defined face, but not looking too harsh at the same time. So moving on to the eyes, Revolution have launched 4 new Reloaded palettes. These are £4 each, which are so affordable. You get 15 shades, I believe. So we have Reloaded Provocative, which looks like this. It's got lots of pinky mauve tones in it. We then have Fundamental, which is very neutral. This one is a really nice kind of everyday palette. This one is Iconic 3.0, which is still neutral, but it's got a little bit of mauve in there as well, and it's a little bit more on the kind of rose gold pinkish sort of side. And then finally we have the Marvelous Mattes, which is just a matte bright eyeshadow palette, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. So firstly I'm taking this shade here, which is from the Marvelous Mattes palette, and I'm just gonna add this in a kind of semicircle through my crease. Decided that I'm going for a blue cut crease today just because I want to do something a little bit different to normal. So I'm just packing this shade onto my lid. I'm then taking this blue shade here just to blend out those edges. I know this look is a little bit out there, but you could do the exact same method, but just with different colours. So I'm then taking the Cut Crease Canvas. This is a full coverage eyeshadow base, and apparently these were inspired by the fact that lots of people use the original Conceal Define concealer to do cut creases. So what Revolution have done is created a kind of base for your cut crease, and you can use the little brush that comes in this to draw on your cut crease, which I think is the most genius idea ever. The shade I'm going to be using is called Illustrate, but they do have 3 other colours as well. They have Etch, which is the deepest shade, and it looks like this. They have Create, which is medium. They have Illustrate, which is the one that I'm using, and then they also have a white one, which is called Halo. So what I'm going to do is just wipe off the excess of the brush, but still making sure that I have some on the brush, and then I'm going to go for a kind of halo eye cut crease. So I'm just placing this on the centre of my lid first, then I'm gonna look up, and then it's kind of left me a line for where I want to go up to, and then I'm just gonna follow that line and keep filling in that portion of my eye. So you then obviously want to take a shade to set this in place. I'm going to dip into this palette, which is the Reloaded Fundamental, and I think I'm going to go for a gold on my lid. I'm just taking this shade down here, and I'm just going to add that all over where I've just cut my crease. And then I'm going back in with that blue colour that I used in my crease to just kind of blend these 2 shades together. Next up, I'm just taking that same blue shade along my lower lash line. And then on my inner corners, I'm taking this shade down here from the Fundamental palette. Okay, so that is my eyeshadow done. It's a little bit more bold than I expected it would come out. When I started this video, I had no idea that I was going to go for a blue cut crease. So I'm then going to add some of the Renaissance Flick liner and then the Mascara Revolution. And then finally, to finish everything off, I'm using my lipstick in the shade Syrup. Okay, so this is the finished look. So I definitely went a bit more bold with this video than I was kind of expecting, but something in me just decided that I was going to do blue instead of something super neutral. But I hope you guys still kind of learnt something from this video, and hopefully you found this helpful. Everything that I have mentioned in this video, like the primers, the baking powders, the cut crease canvas, the eyeshadow palettes, they are all available now on the Revolution Beauty website, which is always linked in the description box. If you guys aren't already subscribed to the Revolution channel, make sure you press that subscribe button because there's always new videos coming out. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I would love to know any of your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!